Hi guys, welcome to the Oasis Healing Temple. So I haven't done a relationship reading in a minute, so I wanted to take some time today and do one of those for you guys. If you have a particular relationship in mind, go ahead and put the questions or what information you're seeking. Go ahead and have that in the center of your mind and in your heart. If you feel drawn to, close your eyes. Ask your guides to guide you into which pile is going to direct you towards these answers. And when you open your eyes, just use your intuition to select the pile that's speaking to you the most. We have pile number 1 with Sodalite, pile number 2 with Black Moonstone, and pile number 3 with Brecciated Jasper. So that is what today's reading is going to be about. If you have a particular relationship in mind, this is what we're doing today. So the timestamps are going to be listed in the description box below, and I'll see you all at your readings. Hi, pile number 1. Welcome to your reading. So let's go ahead and take a look at your relationship guidance about the particular relationship you have in mind. So I'm going to get a few more of these cards to help us tune in. We'll get a few tarot and a few more oracle cards to clarify. Pile number 1, please. What advice, information do you have about pile number 1's relationship? Let's get one more. Ooh. We'll get some oracle cards in just a moment. We have power, and it says you instinctively know what is right for you, and you have the power to say no or to walk away at any time. Okay, so that's interesting that you were drawn to Sodalite. Sodalite is the stone of truth and communication, and so I feel like this is definitely saying that you have a strong connection to your intuition, and your energy, your thoughts, your intuitive thoughts are guiding you in the right direction, that this is your truth, and listen to the truth. Listen to your heart, because it's guiding you into what is the truth of the situation. We have a message for you. I'm thinking of you this very moment. Your love fills me with light. I love you. We have my beloved. Though we may be physically apart, spiritually we are always united, for love transcends space and time. Nothing is missing. And then we have deep in your heart. You already know the answer. Do what feels right. Okay, so we have 2 of these that are speaking about following your intuition and that you already know. And then we have these confessions of love. So maybe you may be questioning the truth of the relationship, whether they truly love you. Okay, let's see. And this could be maybe a long distance relationship. Take what resonates for you guys. That was the message that's coming through as well. We have anxiety with the 9 of Swords. Yeah, there's something. This has been on your mind a lot. I feel like you've been definitely thinking about this very, very much so. I'm trying to get as many cards as I can on the camera for you guys. Scoot, scoot. Okay. One of my dogs just decided to go have a little treat, so if you hear any of that noise in the background, I greatly apologize. Let's put your heart over here. Okay, so the 9 of Swords. Definitely a lot of worry, a lot of anxiety. We have security. Yeah, you're wanting that solid foundation. The Tower. Have you been worried about the end? The relationship not working out, not feeling like it's a solid connection, a solid foundation for you. We have the Priestess coming through with following your intuition. We have Ace of Wands, your power, the Lovers, making that choice, balance, and then we have travel. Okay. Yeah, I thought I felt something about a long distance relationship coming through here, and wanting to know if this is something serious. You've been worried about it a lot. Yeah, you're wanting to know the truth of how this individual feels. Let me see. I want to figure out, let's see if I can put the, let's put the Lovers up there. Okay, hi Lyron. Lyron's so funny. He used to be, he came over in the previous reading I did. He was a stray cat that just came up here, and he was very untrustworthy at first. And then over time, he has now become very trustworthy and very loving, very kind. Whereas before, he used to be afraid of anybody touching him, or, you know, and now he comes and asks for it. So, and that may be definitely symbolic of what you may be experiencing. That, the building of trust, you know, listening to your intuition. And here's the thing, in relationships, right? Like, it's hard when we doubt somebody's feelings for us. And what we have to pay attention to is our gut, our instincts, our intuition. What is our heart telling us? And not listening to just the words. It's paying attention to the actions. It's also paying attention to the inactions. And paying attention to body movement and what's not being said, but also what is being said through the energy by the body language. You know, how do they make you feel when they are around you? And how do you feel, I mean, obviously when they're not around you, because this is long distance, and this is just for some of you. Some of you, I feel like there may be, I don't know, I do feel, well, okay. Some of this is, all right, so there's two messages coming through. One of you, this is a long-distance relationship, and some of you, you're being asked to go ahead and move on and to do what feels right in your heart, and that you already know the answer, that it's time to let go and to move forward. And some of you, where this is a long-distance relationship, you may also be guided to move forward. Because here's the thing, when it's hard to have those long-distance relationships. It's different when somebody's away on a business trip. But then if it's where they're constantly away all the time, it's very hard, because we all miss that intimacy of being together, you know, and always being able to depend on one another and have that access to each other's help, support, energy, comfort, nurturing, you know, closeness. That's what we all crave in a relationship. So, alright, give me a second to pause the video. We have the goats hanging out over here. The boy's just going crazy. Oh, that's funny. So, I don't know, I just heard a message come through, something about a playboy. So, and I don't know if that was, you know, having the goats come through. And at this time of the year, it's currently fall. And the females, they start to come in heat, and there's always the male, you know, he's like, he chases them all down, you know, he's just, he's in heaven because he's got all these girls around him, you know, and he loves the attention, even though the girls, sometimes they do not enjoy it as much, but I'm not sure if that applies to any of you guys. If there's somebody in your life who may be, you know, what they call a player, somebody who's playing the field, or not really ready to settle down and commit, you know, and you have to really take that into consideration. As some people, they just enjoy the attention that they're getting. They're not too serious about settling down, and that can end up hurting your heart in the end. And sometimes we end up turning against ourselves and shaming ourselves and feeling like, well, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, what's wrong with me, that they don't choose me. you know, that kind of stuff. And which is sad that we do that to ourselves. But here's the thing, they're not deserving of you, you know, and you need to set a healthier, a higher standard for yourself. You want somebody who's like fallen head over heels in love, and they want to be with you all the time, and they make you feel loved, they make you feel supported, they express it through their actions, you know, their words and their actions are in alignment. Everything is, you know, you don't have to guess, you know, it's just expressed very easily. And it's hard to find somebody who has that, that courage, that strength to express how they truly feel. And that's the thing, you know, when you've met the one, you know, it's, you don't have to guess, you don't have to worry, you don't have to feel insecure. And I feel like that's what you're looking for in the relationship here. Some of you may be being asked to make a choice, you know, to move, to travel, to go be with this individual. If it is a long distance relationship and the distance between you is what's keeping you apart, you really need to consider and contemplate if this relationship is really what you want to invest in. Is this the relationship for you? Is this the one for you? So that may be something coming through as well. The choice to move, to relocate, to be close to an individual who you may really think about considering settling down with. So we have a lot of balance coming through. We have the yin yang, and then we have justice over here, wanting that healthy balance, balancing the heart and the mind, you know, not just looking through the rose-colored glasses and wanting to see, you know, the good in somebody and overlooking the red flags. We want to have those in consideration, because the red flags are all signs. They're pointing you to something that might be a you know, an issue that you're not addressing because you're, you know, and sometimes people do this. They fall in love with the outside and they overlook certain things because they're so attractive, oh, they're so hot, oh, or, you know, it's, why do you want to be with this individual, you know? And it's getting to the heart of the matter and getting to the truth of the situation and speaking your truth from your heart. And then how does this individual handle your heart? How do they handle your truth? Do they deny it? Do they gaslight you? Do they understand? Do they appreciate your truth? Is there that balanced communication? They empower you. They make you feel inspired. All those kinds of things. Those are things to look at. And you want to come from a place of making an empowered choice going forward. And making sure that you are not betraying your own needs and betraying your own heart in this relationship. Okay, let's get some oracle cards just to get some clarification to see what is really going through. And if this person crosses all the dots and, well, crosses all the T's and dots all the I's, and that's it. We have pay attention to the signs. Okay, yes. All right, you're being asked to pay attention. Self-love. All right. I'm glad that came out because that is what I was getting at. You need to make sure that you love yourself. You're not betraying yourself, that you're following your heart. You're listening. You're not overlooking those red flags. Their actions match their words. They do what they say. They honor their word. They don't make me feel like I'm not good enough. They don't make me feel unworthy or I'm not trying my best to be in this relationship. I mean, we have the Tower here, and towers usually mean, you know, the end of something that wasn't solid, a belief system, who you thought this person was, what you thought the relationship was. And I feel like for those of you who've had to make the choice to end a particular relationship, I mean, there's a lot of growth coming in for you. A lot of new beginnings. We have self-love, so I feel like there's a lot of opportunities for you to see where you need to love yourself more and pour into your own cup, so that you start to attract healthier relationships and people who see your worth and people who see your value. We have expansion, nice. We have the growth. And we have the throat chakra coming through here. Your truth, honoring your true feelings, your true emotions, your true wants and needs in a relationship. We have isolation. The thing with isolation is sometimes we need to withdraw and to spend more time alone. We need to understand, you know, why was I attracted to this individual? Why, if this is a repeating pattern, is this a loop that I'm trapped in? I just keep having these same experiences over and over again. And here's the thing, that's because you keep making the same choices. You are overlooking something, and that's the thing, you're not seeing things clearly, you're not seeing the truth. You are giving your power away to these individuals, and you're teaching them that you're not that you're going to tolerate this behavior because you're willing to settle for that. And you need to up your game. You need to up what you're willing to, what you're wanting to experience, by saying, nope, I don't want people who treat me like that. I don't want people who make me feel this way. I deserve better. I deserve somebody who loves me. You know, it's all about your choices and what you're choosing. And sometimes we make those choices out of fear because we're afraid to be alone, or we're afraid we're not good enough, or we're afraid that nobody's going to appreciate us, you know. And so we have to get in there, go within, take our light and see, what am I afraid of and why am I afraid of that? Where did this come from? And send your love into those spaces so that you aren't living and making choices out of fear, out of worry, out of anxiety. Because when you're making those choices out of a low vibration, you're staying in that lower vibration. You know, I saw this video the other day, and it was talking about shifting and how to shift to a new frequency, a higher frequency, right? And to see things as, let's say, you know, life is like a building, and you start on the first floor and you work your way up, right? And so you're on this floor, the first floor, and you've been in this particular frequency for a long time, and like you've been working this floor, it's like your day in, day out, and you keep having like the same experiences over and over again, and you're almost kind of like starting to master this level of experience. Like your day in and day out is always the same, all right? And so sometimes people can get stuck in this version, this reality, this frequency, this room, this level for a long period of time, and some people never even evolve out of it. They never ascend into a newer experience where they're not repeating mistakes over and over again. And so in order for us to get on the elevator and go up to the next level, we have to make higher choices for ourselves. We have to choose better for ourselves. We have to follow our heart, and we have to learn how to unlock those doors that allow us to move on to a new experience. And we unlock those doors by going within and finding the keys that are within our own being, you know, and they're hidden in our subconscious mind. And a lot of them aren't, they're hidden in our fears and our shadows. And we have to acknowledge where there's a fear in order to access those keys so that we can unlock new doors and have new experiences, so that we can have access to the elevator and ascend to a new level of experience that matches who we are, who this new version of ourselves is. So if you find yourself repeating, being stuck in a loop and being on the same level and experiencing the same things over and over again, you haven't been making different choices. You keep making the same choice over and over again, and you're not, let's say, passing that class. You have to keep retaking the test over and over again until you shift something, you do something different. And so you have to understand what it is, what is driving you to make these same choices, and where's the fear coming from, because you're making the choices out of fear. And so you have to understand the fear, heal the fear, face the fear, bring it love and understanding and compassion, and then guide it to your truth, to the version of you that exists today, because that fear comes from somewhere in the past, and that past keeps repeating because you're stuck there. So those are ways to help you see how we can experience something new through our choices and through our belief systems, by facing our fears and by healing those belief systems. And then you can access a new reality, the reality that you're looking for, where you feel completely loved and whole and complete. But you feel whole and complete with yourself, and then you will start to attract people who validate that love that you have for yourself, and they will respect you because you respect yourself, and they won't betray you because you're not betraying yourself. If you have value for yourself, they will honor that value. When you have healthy relationships with yourself, and you have healthy standards, and you have boundaries, and you make people respect and honor those boundaries, you're teaching them how to treat you. You're teaching them what you're going to tolerate and what you're not going to tolerate. And anybody who loves you, they're going to stay there because they want to be in your life, and they respect those boundaries, and they completely understand why they're there, and they honor and they value them too, because they themselves kind of have the same values, right? And the same boundaries. They too want respect. They too want to feel loved and seen and appreciated, and they want that reciprocity of love and equal exchange of give and take, Pile number 1. What further information can we have? We have receptivity. Very nice. Allow yourself to receive. Allow yourself to give. There's that balance of giving and receiving. All right, so some of you may be used to just giving and doing all the time, and you're always the one who pours into the other person, and you always feel like you're left out, like somehow, like well, how come I'm not getting that same type of love? I'm always, doing this and showing how much I love them and how much I appreciate them, and you just don't feel like you've been receiving that in turn. And that's because you yourself have blocked yourself off from receiving love. And you're looking outside of yourself for that love, but it needs to come from you. I love myself not to tolerate somebody treating me like this. I love myself enough not to be disrespected, or to constantly have to question whether you love me or not, or if you're serious, or if you really want to be with me. Are you going to go to distance to be in this relationship? And if you have to constantly have to worry and question and doubt, then there's something that you're overlooking. You shouldn't have to feel that way. That's not healthy for you or for them, Pile number 1. Can you give me a little bit more information, a little insight about this relationship? I'm pretty sure I'm nailing it on the head here. I think you need to go within, listen to your intuition, listen to those inner nudges. They're guiding you. They're showing you where something's just not quite right. Release past wounds, old wounds. Hold your energy hostage. Let go of what no longer serves you and make space for healing. Yep. You don't want to be trapped in the loop. You're in a loop because something in the past broke your heart. And that's what needs healing. Your heart needs to heal so that you can be open to receiving the love that you're worth. Alright, let's do these here. I'm going to give you some final messages, some words of love and affirmation here to close out your reading, pile number 1. We have loving myself unconditionally means accepting what is. And loving myself, I help create a world where it is safe for us to love each other. I am in the process of becoming my own best friend, the person I am most happy to be with. Oh, that's beautiful. See, and that's the thing, you have to love yourself. You have to love being who you are and accepting all parts of you and understand what you're learning from these relationships. You're learning what isn't love and what love doesn't look like, so that you can recognize what love truly is and what love does feel like. And the more you pour into your own cup and the more you take time to just self-nurture, self-love, self-soothe, self-validate, don't deny how you feel. You know, those feelings, those emotions, those are it's like your guiding, navigating system here. They're tools. They're showing you something don't feel right because something isn't right. Their energy is off. Their words don't match their actions, you know. They're not in an alignment with their truth. You have to pay attention to all those signs. They're showing you, they're guiding you. And you need to make sure that you love yourself more than this individual. You can love them, but you gotta love you more. I love myself not to tolerate being treated like this. And I'm setting those standards for myself because I deserve somebody who loves me. I want equal, healthy, balanced relationships. Alright, we have, I am willing to go beyond my own limitations. I am wonderful and I deserve and accept all the good that life has to offer. Beautiful. You hear that? I am wonderful. And I deserve and I accept all the good that life has to offer. This is what about receptivity, that divine feminine, going with the flow, filling your own cup, pouring into yourself. And that creates this shift and flow where you're not chasing somebody down. You're not chasing after love. When you stop and say, no, it's time for me, I'm going to pour into my own cup. I'm going to start giving myself the love that I'm looking for. You shift the flow, the direction. You become more magnetic. You become attractive because you start attracting and pulling love in. You shift the flow of energy instead of pushing it out and going after it and acting as if I don't have. You shift into I have and I am. And it starts to pour into your reality. It starts coming in. We have I deserve good in my life. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Final card. I learn something new every day. Life is a series of doors closing and opening to new experiences. Sometimes learning experiences and sometimes joyous experiences. It is all a part of life and I am safe. It is only change. Okay? Don't be afraid of changing. Don't be afraid of being alone. You are learning. You are shifting. You are changing how you love and how you receive love. Okay? Alright, pile number 1. Sending so much love to you guys as you work on loving yourself more and pouring into your own cup so that you can attract the people that deserve to have you in their life. Okay? Thanks for joining me in the temple today. Please like and subscribe. Comment below if this reading resonated with you. I'd love to hear from you all. And I'd love to have you join me for future readings. Y'all take care and have a blessed day. Hi, pile number 2. Welcome to your reading. So you guys were drawn to the Black Moonstone. So we're going to take a look at some relationship information, guidance, and support. We're going to get a few more of the heart oracles here. Ooh. And I'm going to get a few tarot. And we'll do a few more oracle later. Pile number 2, please. And let's get a couple of tarot to tune in. Pile number 2, please. Can we have some relationship guidance? Messages for pile number 2, please, regarding the relationship that they have in mind. Okay, let's take a look at what you guys were drawn to. So you guys were drawn to, this card says, it's important right now to take a step back and spend some time alone. Instead of placing your focus on another, now is the time to give to yourself. So I love that. We have this beautiful angel that kind of looks like they're being cradled in a womb. So taking some time out. And we have the new moon, which the black moonstone is about new moons, new beginnings, planting the seeds for something new. It's also about nurturing seeds of growth. So spending some time to nurture yourself and take care of yourself right now. Let's take a little bit more. Let's see, we have deep in your heart, you already know the answer. Do what feels right. And we have the past is now behind you. Release it and embrace new possibilities. A new path is now available for you. Oh, to you, follow it with faith. Okay, so some of you may be experiencing the end of a relationship, but it's the time to plant some new intentions. And so if this relationship didn't end on good terms, now is the time to spend time nurturing yourself and going within, taking care of yourself. And that is not by no shaming, no feeling guilty. And sometimes we have those questions, wanting to know why things didn't work out. And sometimes it's not something that we've done. It's just in relationships, people come into our lives, you know, during certain times in our life to teach us certain lessons. And even though sometimes it can be very painful, these are the growing pains. You know, each person that comes into our life is there to teach us something, either something about ourselves, or they're there to offer, you know, sometimes the lessons and sometimes those joyful experiences. And some people stay around for a lifetime, and some people are there just for a season, you know, and we're always learning and we're always growing. And so whatever you've been through, it's time to let that go. Take what you could from that experience and to begin moving forward. We have the King of Water, King of Cups. So we have, emotion. We have the Two of Cups. Order, partnership. We have the Ace of Cups. All right, so we have a new beginning, the Queen of Cups and the Lovers. Ooh, so there is an opportunity for love to come in for you guys. Look at all these cups, and then we have the Lovers. So, and we have the Ace of Cups, the Two of Cups, and then the King and the Queen. Beautiful. Oh wait, no, the King of the Ocean. This is the Emperor. Yeah, you were learning a lot about relationships and a lot about the relationship with yourself, and how to follow your intuition, trust your instincts, how to love yourself, how to be in love with an individual, what love looks like, what love doesn't look like. And some of you may be getting married, starting a family. Yeah, this is the beginning of a whole new experience for you. This is the new path, the new beginning, what's waiting for you. This is what you deserve. I love that you have the, you know, the new moon and the new beginning coming through. Let's put this here in the center. All right. Hopefully we have some space to put your other cards, but I love this for you. There's a playful energy coming through here as well. We have all the dolphin energy. This is the healing of the inner child, taking time to celebrate, to nurture, to self-soothe, feeling emotionally supported by your partner, feeling supported within your inner child, having healed. So some of you may have been on that healing journey, you know, overcoming the past, the harshness of a past relationship, and you've healed and overcome something because you've learned the experience, you've learned from that experience, and you have the wisdom now. You're more sensitive, you're more intuitive, more connected to your truth. Yeah, I feel like you're more empowered. I feel like you're more confident about yourself. There's no denying of how you feel. I feel like you very much are embracing your emotions. And that's a wonderful place to be, pile number 2. Congratulations. Some of you very psychic, very intuitive, maybe even manifesting, making a wish. Oh yes, I felt the inner child come through. Yeah, you've been healing the inner child. Following your heart, getting to understand, know your worth, healing those old wounds, understanding where they come from so that you can attract a healthy, more balanced, more stable relationship, because you developed a more healthy, stable relationship with yourself. Ooh, we have the dreams coming through. Look at that. A dream come true. Some of you may have been wishing, been manifesting. I felt manifestation coming through. Manifesting your dream partner, your dream relationship. I feel like you're more attractive, more magnetic. Stay in that flow state. Stay in that divine feminine, you know, of attracting, not chasing, receiving. I feel like you're a very wise person. This is definitely a lesson that you've had to learn, and I feel like you have, because we have the Ace of Cups coming through and the Two of Cups. So this new beginning, new partnership, happy family. Pile number 2, please. Information about their relationships. Have a strong relationship with yourself now, which is going to help you draw in that relationship that you're looking for. We have time and tide. Okay, be patient, all right? Don't rush anything. Allow things to flow in according to divine timing. Yeah, definitely feel like you've been working on that, manifesting that partnership. So know that it's coming in. Know that you deserve it. Allow things to unfold, because sometimes with relationships, when you're manifesting that divine partner, sometimes people go out there and chase the energy down. You know, they're just on the hunt, and they're willing to take anything that's, you know, being offered to them or thrown at them, and they end up settling for somebody who doesn't respect them, who betray their heart, who don't treat them right. You know, they say one thing, do another, they end up manipulating you, gaslighting you. You know, they're just not in the relationship for the right reason, and you end up betraying yourself, you know, looking through your heart, ignoring the red flags, you know, and wearing those rose-colored glasses because you see the potential. But these individuals, they're not living out their potential, you know, they're living out their pain, and they're stuck in a cycle and in a behavior pattern, and they're not ready to grow and evolve yet, you know, they're not ready for your kind of love. And because you have a strong love, you know, and sometimes that can trigger people, and it can make them feel like they're not worthy because you want them to change and grow with you. And sometimes people just aren't ready to change yet. They're still not done being angry about their, you know, what's happened to them and what they've been through. You know, they're stuck in that victim mentality. So, and it's serving them to a degree, especially people who can be narcissistic, you know, and always playing that victim role. It serves them because they feel like that's what gives them attention, that gives them power. And, you know, there's always somebody who feels bad for them, and so that gives them the attention that they're looking for, and people make excuses for them, so they kind of get away with things, and they've learned how to use that energy, and you know, in the process, they end up losing a lot of people because they just are very self-absorbed, and they don't really care how they make other people feel because it kind of validates them, you know, it makes them feel good. You know, which is kind of sick. It makes them feel good that other people are suffering or in pain, you know what I mean? Because they don't know how to get rid of their pain, so they almost inflict it on the others and be like, well, this is what happened to me, so, you know, that's how I was raised, and blah, blah, blah. So, you're not special. It's that kind of, you know, attitude. So, and you deserve better. And so, what ends up happening though is when you get to that place where you're ready for something new, and you've acknowledged that you deserve better, the person that's meant for you, they may be still healing, they may be still overcoming some of their things, or maybe they're in a relationship and you're waiting for them to, you know, become single just like you're single at the same time, you know, so that y'all have those chance meetings. You know, you have to wait for that alignment, for that synchronicity to take place. So just hang in there, know that it's coming, know that you are meant for this, know that you are deserving and worthy of this, and don't settle. Like, you'll know when it's the right person, you know, your heart will, you both will just be like, boom, instant attraction, you know what I mean? It will be divine. And what's also awesome is how you just send it out there. You know, I'm looking for the love of my life. I'm receiving the love of my life. I am deserving of love. I am, you know, you say your mantras, your affirmations, and without a doubt, you know, full belief in yourself that you are going to achieve this goal. You have to eliminate all doubt, all fears, accept and understand where they've come from, you know, that healing of the inner child there, and know that the divine is supporting you, and that your wishes have been heard, and have faith that they're coming in. You know, you will start to see signs, and those signs will be guiding posts to let you know how close you are to that full crystallization of that manifestation, right? Because it starts in the ether as like kind of like a nebula, you know, how it's all very gaseous and everything like that. And then it starts to, the longer you hold that intention of I am receiving, and you know it and you feel it, it's gaining weight, you know, so it gets denser and denser and denser until it starts to crystallize into a solid physical manifestation where it exists now here in the physical realm. That's what you're doing. You're building and charging that energy up until it can finally crystallize and anchor in the present. You will start to see signs. You will feel it getting closer to you, because it's materializing through the realms, you know, and that when you start to feel it, you feel it in the emotional body, and the emotional body is the closest to the physical. So it's getting closer to manifesting, and those will be your signs that it's coming in, that it's fixing to fully manifest, okay? You just got to keep planting those seeds, nurturing those seeds with your heart. We have divination, prophecy, fate, destiny, future fortune. I love this. So with the divination, this is just about your psychic intuition and feeling and tuning into those energies, you know. This is your destiny, is to have that partner. And we have guide, a mentor, a trustworthy ally. Okay. A guide. I feel like this is your guides are there supporting your dreams. Speak it out loud, you know. Say, like I was saying, say your affirmations. Future fortune. Woo. We have card number 38, which is an 11, and we have card number 15, which is a 6. 11s are about awakening, trusting your intuition, a higher purpose. They're also a 2, which is partnerships, harmony, balance, love. And number 6 is home life, creating that nurturing environment within your own being, but also in the area, in the environment around you, you know, in your home, making sure that you have created space in your home, making sure that you're cleansing and clearing your aura often, so that you're releasing any fears and any doubts, you know, and you're staying in that mindset of receiving love and knowing that you are worthy and deserving of love. Some of you may be communicating with them in dreams. You may be having dreams about this individual. I feel like you're definitely having a lot of things taking place in dream time. Ooh. We have self-worth. Yes, sit on that throne. Know that you are worthy and deserving. Be in that receptive energy of pulling the energy in, letting it flow, letting everything take place in divine timing here. All right, let's put you up here. Yeah, that's what the inner child needed you to heal. Your worth, your value, your self-esteem. Let's get one more chakra card. Yeah, you were healing the sacral chakra, your womb, your waters, your emotions. How you nurture yourself, how you feel loved. One more card, please. This one's being very particular. Ooh, okay, that's a sign. You are being asked to be very particular. We have discovery. Discovering your own worth, discovering your needs, what you need in a relationship, what's a deal breaker for you. Sometimes people don't even know what their needs are until they know they're not being met, you know? And we learn that through relationships with others. We learn how to communicate. We learn what we're not communicating, what needs to be said, how to share our feelings, how to be vulnerable, especially if your needs aren't being met, you know, to communicate that to someone, to be vulnerable enough to say, you know, hey, we need to have a talk. I'm starting to feel like this, you know, and is there something going on? Is there something wrong, you know, or, you know, I really want us to grow together, and I want a relationship to be more solid, more mature. I have a couple of needs, desires, wants that I want to kind of communicate to you. You know, I'm feeling like this, and I would love for us to maybe explore more of this, you know, and if we could start doing this with each other, you know, and it's saying those things because you're trying to have a strong, healthy relationship, and it requires communication. It requires you to even know your needs. And so if we don't take the time to get to know ourselves, to go within and reflect and understand, you know, what is it that I want from a relationship? What is it that I need from a partner, you know, and what direction do I see us going, and is this the right person for me? You know, you ask all those things. I can share something with y'all. One time in my relationship with my husband, you know, I felt like we weren't connecting and we weren't on the same page, and And there was things that, you know, we just had our second child, and we had moved, and so we were very disconnected, and we were both having to work very, very hard. And so I told him, like, when he'd get up in the morning, like, I wanted us to just connect first thing. So I wanted him, like, give me a good morning kiss. And, like, it was just something simple, you know what I mean? But I felt like I needed that connection in the morning, just to know that we are there for each other, and that we still love each other, and we're doing this together, you know, those kinds of things. And it was sad, because it was a need that I wanted. You know, it was just something simple, and it made me feel so much better to receive it. It made me feel more connected, you know, just something simple like that, to even know that's that I needed, you know what I mean, in the relationship. And then have your partner be able to reciprocate that and give that to you. That's how you know that that's somebody who cares, and they love you, and they care how they make you feel, and they don't want distance. They want to feel closer. They want to build a strong relationship. That's somebody you're looking for. You want somebody to build with you, right? But you have to take that time to get to know your own needs, to know what you feel is lacking, and not to come from a place of, like, you know, accusatory or anything like that. You're just trying to communicate, you know, with the partner, or your partner, your soulmate. And it's just like, I want to feel more connected to you. I want to feel closer to you. Some people don't like that. They're like, oh, you're too needy. But, you know, that's not a needy thing. You know, there's a difference between having a needs and being needy. You know, needy people need constant validation. They need to constantly hear from you, be around you, you know, because they're insecure, you know, because there's something within them, or something they've experienced that has broken their heart, betrayed them, or made them feel that they weren't loved. So they constantly need, you know, that validation. And this is different. And that's also something. You gotta know the difference between the energies. One that's coming from a place of fear, and one that's coming from a place of love and maturity, and knowing who you are, and knowing what your needs are. It's maturing the emotional body, you know. We have learned from pain. Pain is a catalyst for change. Allow it to lead you to deeper wisdom and growth. Beautiful. Look at that seed that's growing. That seed, planting that seed of intention and growth. And I feel like your self-worth is growing. And this manifestation is growing. You see that? We have faced the consequences. Your actions ripple beyond the moment. Stand in your truth. Accept what follows. And let it guide your growth. Oh, look at him. He's got this broken cup here. Something that was lost. Yeah. Don't spend too much time, you know, on loss. And some people, those people who you had to walk away from, who may have broken your heart or walked away, whatever the case may be, that's their loss, you know. They missed out on somebody who wanted to grow and build something with them, and that's the thing, like, you were meant for something better, you know. And so it's holding out, setting those healthy standards and boundaries for yourself, because you know your worth now, and you deserve better. It's elevating your standards, and I feel like you have done that. So congratulations to you. Know your worth, know your value, child. All right, I'm going to get you some final messages, some final heart thoughts to close your reading, pile number 2. We have, you got 2. I always have a choice. I choose to believe that it is easy to change a thought or a pattern. It is my choice to do so. And there we go. Our beliefs are what create our reality. And so when you change your belief about yourself or about the world, you change your programming, your reality changes. Right? You always have a choice. And we have, I am willing to learn new things. I love to learn, and I'm willing to drop old concepts when they no longer work for me. Growing and changing is exciting, and it definitely can be. Sometimes it's a little scary, and that's only because the path is unknown, you know, but that unknown path can be very exciting because it's a new adventure. You're learning something new, you're growing, you know, but it's having that faith and knowing that everything is working out for you for your highest good, and that you're coming into alignment with something that's going to bring you more, you know. You'll be learning something new, you'll be experiencing something new, you'll be growing, your heart will be expanding, and I feel like you have learned that lesson now. I am always perfectly protected. When a fearful thought comes up, I recognize that it is trying to protect me. I thank it and let it go with love. See, and that's the beautiful thing about healing, especially when you understand your fears, you know, and where they come from. And they come from the past. They come from experience that hurt you. It comes from experience where you didn't have the tools to understand or to navigate that situation, you know. And so the fear is just a part of you that doesn't have all of the information. And so it's just sitting there in the dark waiting, and it's afraid because it's alone, it's been abandoned, it's been forgotten about for a long time, and part of us denies that experience or denies that pain because it was hurtful. And so when you go within and you heal those versions of yourself and you bring them your love, you bring them your validation and understanding, like, I know why that hurt, and you have every right to feel that way, and I'm never going to allow that to happen again. I'm going to set healthy boundaries and standards for us, and we're no longer going to experience that again. I'm not going to let anybody treat us like that, you know. And you start setting those boundaries, you start knowing your worth and having confidence in your ability to make those choices for yourself. You feel more connected, you feel more solid in your beliefs and your connection to yourself, you know, and your ability to have good things and to have people who appreciate you and validate what you already believe about yourself. All right, pile number 2, that is your reading. I hope this helps give you some relationship clarity, information that you have been wanting to hear, something that guides you in the right direction today. Thank you all for joining me in the temple. Please like and subscribe. Comment below if you feel like sharing your story, or just let me know how this reading resonated with you. Sending y'all lots of love. Y'all take care and have a blessed day. Hi, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. So these are going to be your messages regarding your relationships, whatever guidance you have been asking about. I'm sorry, y'all. I have this spider outside my window that I guess she's creating a new web. It's one of those orb spiders, and she's just been dropping past my window as I tuned into your reading. She's just kind of sinking down, I guess, to attach part of her web to the window. And she's kind of wild. She's got black legs and a striped black and white body. Interesting. Alright, so we're going to get a couple more of these heart oracle cards, and then some tarot, and then a few oracle cards later on in your reading. So pile number 3, please. Can we get some relationship guidance here? I have this card. Pile number 3. Okay, so I'm seeing this one and this one. Okay, let's get a couple tarot. Ooh, those are jumping out. Nice at the bottom of the deck. Okay. Alright, so let's see what your card is. You were drawn to this card, and it says, look deep within your heart and you will feel my love. My love for you is as deep as the ocean. Okay. I'll put this up here. Let's see what the other heart cards say. We have sacred union, honor and treasure your relationship where it is truly sacred. Look inside yourself, examine what is causing you to feel this way. So we have a couple of look within, and then we have let there be closeness between you, but always give each other space. Love never claims, it simply allows and gives. Okay, let's put these like so. All right, let's look at the tarot. Let's see, we have the 5. Okay, abandonment, 5 of Pentacles. We have the 9 of Wands. Okay. The Sun card. Okay, good. Happy to see that. We have the Death card and the 3 of Swords. Okay. So some of you have been a little bit brokenhearted, and I felt that with being drawn to the Brecciated Jasper. Brecciated Jasper is a mineral that it's kind of like the what is the ancient Chinese art of, you know, when a vase breaks, they put it back together with gold. And Brecciated Jasper is similar to that. It is a mineral that is put, it's like it spreads apart and it breaks, the soil does, and then it comes back together with quartz crystal. The quartz is what holds it together. So it's almost like being purified, made whole again. So some of you may have experienced a lot of heartache, a little heartbreak, some betrayal in your relationship. And it could be several relationships even. And yeah, a lot of feeling abandoned, feeling alone, feeling betrayed, feeling like you've had to defend yourself, defend your position. And with the Death card coming out, this is the end of feeling that way. I feel like there is this healing that is taking place within your heart. Some of you maybe, I feel like either you've been doing the work, you're being asked to go within and look inside yourself and understand, you know, the lessons behind those experiences and behind these relationships, and to love yourself more, to bring healing into your heart, to shine a light on your fears, your wounds. Yeah, and to bring more love into your heart, to love yourself more, and to appreciate who you are, appreciate your bright light, to bring healing to your inner child. And to let go of anything that didn't work out, and to walk away from these relationships, to walk away from those experiences. Because anybody who has, you know, we have the abandonment and heartache coming through here, especially with the 3 of Swords. The 3 of Swords talks about, you know, brokenhearted, being betrayed. And the 5 of Pentacles, it's feeling left out, feeling alone, feeling abandoned, you know, discarded, like, and then the 9 of Wands, you know, feeling like you have to defend yourself, like you're alone and people are judging you. So you've experienced a lot, and that's what needs your healing, that's what needs your love, so that you can restore balance within, so that you can bring this healing energy to yourself. Let me get a few of these real quick before I move further. Pile number 3, please. We have alchemy. Nice. We have, I'm going to cover this one up, sexuality. And then we have, how teachable are you? Okay. Let's see how we can fit you guys in. Can we do this? Perfect. Okay. So with the sexuality card, this is about healing your sacral chakra, the emotional body. And with the alchemy, this is about transforming the energies so that you can transform your experience, where you take one experience and you transform it into something new. And we have, how teachable are you? This is about how open are you to learning something new? How open are you to making a different choice, to moving forward? Because what can happen is sometimes we can make the same choices over and over and be stuck in a loop where we haven't understood why we keep having these types of relationships or types of experiences with people. Like, we keep having people who don't see us, who hurt us, who betray us, who make us feel like we're not good enough, that our love isn't good enough, no matter how many times we forgive them, how we overlook their poor behavior, how we always see the good in them, and we give them these excuses why, well, they've been hurt, or, that's just who they are. They're always like that. We make excuses for them to behave poorly, and we tolerate those negative behaviors because we love them, and we have empathy. We sympathize with them, and that can be part of the problem, unfortunately. As a matter, we think we're doing good. We think that we're doing what we're taught, to love unto others as we want to be loved ourselves. We want to be forgiven for our faults, and sometimes that can put us into a place to be, a doormat for people to just walk all over you and take advantage of you because you're so giving, you're so kind, and the thing is like, you are to everyone else, but you are not that way to yourself. You end up betraying your heart. You end up ignoring your own feelings. When they speak this way, when they treat you this way, and when they hurt you, you ignore how you feel because you're either avoiding conflict, you're trying to keep the peace, you're not trying to ruffle any feathers or make it into this big confrontation. So you just kind of like try to keep the energy in this peaceful place by not ruffling their feathers or making them more mad. You end up telling them and teaching them that, this is how you want to be treated, and that you're going to tolerate this type of energy, and that you're going to tolerate their poor behavior because, you're not standing up for yourself, or you just are avoiding conflict. So they learn that, okay, I can throw this temper tantrum, and I can speak to them this way, and they're not going to do anything. They're not going to leave me. They're just going to keep putting up with me because they're afraid to be alone, or they're afraid that I'm going to leave, or they're afraid that I'm going to get even madder. Like, it's sad. I mean, and I'm not judging you or anything like that. I have been there. I have been that person, and I've had family who have treated me this way. I have tolerated, because they're family, and we're taught that, family's family, and blood's thicker than water, and, can't you just forgive them? They're family. But here's the thing, like, how about them correcting their behavior? Like, how can you talk to your family like that? How can you treat them that way? How can you betray them that way? How can you ignore how they feel? That, can't you see that you're hurting them, and you're breaking their heart, but you just continue to behave that way, and you say you're sorry, but you turn around and do it again? Like, oh, but your family, we gotta love and tolerate you. Like, no. Because you're family, you can hurt the most, because your love for them is a blood bond, and it can be the most painful experience. And to be betrayed, or to feel unloved by them, to have them constantly break your heart, and then, sometimes they can gaslight you, or they'll say, make an excuse, well, you did this and this and this many years ago, so, they validate why it's okay for them to do that to you today. And sometimes, like, you unknowingly did something, and if they were to communicate how you hurt them, then, you would have understood and not, you would have made amends or said, I'm sorry. You just should have, if you'd have just told me, I wasn't trying to hurt your feelings. Just let me know, have a conversation. And just some people, they're not emotionally mature. Some people use that tactic to have power over you or to justify why it's okay to behave the way that they behave. And then that's not fair. That's not healthy. That's not a relationship that you need to tolerate. And it's learning to set those healthy standards for yourself and saying, no. If you want to be in a relationship with me, this is my boundaries. I deserve to be talked to in this way. If we have a problem, like, just come to me, sit down with me and say, hey, I'm going to talk to you about something. Like, this happened the other day and it made me feel, X, Y, and Z, so that we can learn not to hurt each other. If you have triggers, let me know about your triggers and where they come from so I can help you overcome them. I don't want to be the trigger for you, but I'm not intentionally going out to trigger you. And sometimes, your light, your love, your happiness, your heart, it triggers people who haven't healed from things. And it's not anything that you've done. It's just stuff, the work that they haven't done. And because you can be happy and you are this beautiful, bright light, part of them is like envious of it, that you can overcome, that you can go through this and you can still be kind. And for them, they're like, well, what's wrong with me? I'm still stuck in this, and so they can attack you. You know what I mean? And they're just very unconscious and very unaware, and just everybody's at different levels of awareness and through different growth cycles of learning and through experience. And so when you learn to love yourself more and to set those healthy boundaries, you end up attracting healthier relationships for yourself, because you have a healthier relationship with yourself. You don't blame yourself for other people's actions. You don't turn against yourself and say, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy because this person treated me so bad. Their actions are their own, and they're responsible for that, not you. All right, let me see. I already got these. We're going to get the mermaids. Messages for pile number 3. Yeah, it's time for you to heal, time for you to transform, to shine the light, to bring more healing energy, to bring your love into those places so that you don't feel abandoned, so that you feel more love. And it's your love that you need right now. We have air, breathing deep, entering into life, exchange of life brings energy. Okay, so with this card coming through here, this is the air element. This is about your thoughts. This is about how you believe, what your belief systems are. It's shifting a belief system that you have, something that you believe about yourself, something you believe about the world. There's some kind of programming, which is a pattern, a belief that could come from childhood. It can come from society, from parents, from your peer groups, a belief that you have inside. And it comes from, an old wound that needs your attention, that needs your love. It's something within. And it's having this healthy relationship with yourself that is going to draw in this healthy relationship with another individual. It's healing the inner child here. So an aspect of yourself from childhood didn't feel good enough, didn't feel seen, didn't feel, appreciated or loved. You may have felt abandoned in a time of need where you felt like you were alone and you needed somebody to bring you comfort, needed somebody to nurture that fear that you have, or comfort a pain, something maybe where you felt like you were, maybe you were bullied and they made you feel like you weren't good enough or who you were, sometimes people, like I was saying, like if you're a bright light and you're different, you're unique, you see things in a different way, you have this big, beautiful heart. And some people, like in this world, that is something that people, a lot of people don't have. They don't have this beautiful, big heart. A lot of us do, some of us don't. A lot of people have experienced pain and trauma at a young age, and somebody who is, happy, it triggers people. Why are you so happy? Why are you so happy? What do you got happy about? You know what I mean? You can just be a general happy person, and just, it can trigger others, and so you may have developed a belief that I'm not safe to express myself. I don't feel safe to be who I am. I'm not lovable. I'm not seen. Where it can make you feel, lack of confidence, a lack of self-esteem, all those kinds of things. And you need to take your time to go within and see where this belief system came from. The way that you see yourself, the way that you see relationships and everything, It's having that healthier relationship with yourself, becoming your own best friend, becoming your own cheerleader, where you rally for yourself and you stand up for yourself, and you go back to those moments that made you feel alone, and you start going, you know what? That is shame on them. And F those people. I don't need their approval. I don't need their validation. Who are they? Psh, I don't even know who they are. And these people, if it was other children, or if it was an adult, or as a family member, shame on them, So, and I don't need that anymore. I'm learning that I needed to love myself. I need to stand up for myself. I need to set healthy standards and boundaries, and decide who is worthy of my love, who deserves to have me in their life, because I know my worth and my value. I have this beautiful heart, and I am so kind, I'm so loving, I'm so generous and giving, and I deserve to have somebody in my life who sees that, who respects that, who values that, Oh, my heart. Big hug to you guys. I can feel y'all right now. You deserve to have somebody appreciate what you have to offer, pile number 3. Okay. Let's get some of these. These are little chakra cards. Pile number 3. And that, if this has to do with family, you can still love your family, because I've had this experience myself. You can still love them, but you don't need them in your immediate life. It's setting that distancing yourself from those types of people. Because people who love you, they want to see you doing good. They want to see you happy. They don't try to force their belief systems on you. They don't try to force you to live a life that makes them happy. They should want you to be happy and doing what makes you happy. You're not out there hurting anybody. You just want to feel loved, and you want to do what you love. And all those things are valid, and people who love you should support that. They should rally for you, and if you don't find that the people in your life are doing that, then you have to do that for yourself. You have to rally for yourself, believe in yourself. And the more you start doing that, you pour that love into your own cup, you will start to attract people in your life that validate that love you're giving to yourself, and they will start to rally for you. You'll find and attract people in your life that rally for you, that support you, that are your family, your soul tribe. You will find those people the more you begin doing that for yourself. Don't look outside of yourself for others to do it. You have to do it yourself, and then your world will reflect that to you. We have recovery. Look at this key. There's a key to a door, so you're about to unlock a door. A door to healing, a door to self-discovery even. Oh, you have joy. Woohoo, I love that coming up over the Sun card. Happiness, joy, celebration, healing the inner child. Yes, this is the key to healing your inner child, the key to your wisdom, the key to moving forward, the key to your happiness. And we have balance, yep. Restoring balance in your life. Pouring into your own cup. Not giving so much to everybody else. Not trying to get anybody else's approval. Not doing stuff to feel anybody's approval or feel validated in any kind of way. It's going within and restoring balance, restoring your inner world. Pour that love and confidence into your own cup here, you know, into your own heart. And look at these individuals. There's going to be some people who just aren't happy that you're not, you know, seeking their approval anymore. You know, because when you seek approval outside of yourself, you give the power to other people, you know. And some people love to hold power over others, you know. And think about that. The, you know, like bullies in school. People who, you know, and you have to question, well, why do I want their approval? Why do I want them to like me? You know? I mean, not everybody wants to be liked, but there's just some people that, you know, and you even yourself, there's people that you just don't like. They're just not your vibe, you know, the way that they speak, the way that their mannerisms are, you know, you just don't vibe together. And that's fine, but you have to question, why do you need their approval? And once you don't need their approval, some people are like, oh, no, well, now I can't manipulate them. Now I don't have their power. I don't have power over them. Oh, crap, now where am I going to get this from? Now who can I manipulate? Who can I control? I don't want them to be happy, because then I have to be faced with why I'm not happy, you know? Because it made me happy that they weren't happy. And now they're happy. Well, crap. Now I'm sitting in my energy, and I don't like my own energy, you know, because they like focusing on your world and making you unhappy in your world and trying to force you to live a life that they want you to live. And, you know, it's very manipulative. And when you start seeing the truth, you know, you start taking off those blinders of seeing reality through the way they want you to be living your life. You start recognizing, like, wow, I've been living my life for everyone else, and I haven't been doing, you know, the things that make me happy. Like, you have a purpose, you have a destiny. There's a reason why you came here. There's a destiny you're meant to fulfill, and if there's something you're meant to be doing, there may be other people who've been waiting for you to step into that role before they can step into their role. You know, everything has a purpose and a plan. So just know that. Remember that. And you are learning through this experience. We have embrace soul transformation. I love it. Transformation isn't easy, but it is necessary. Embrace the changes that lead you to your highest self. Look at this beautiful butterfly cocoon. Yeah, you have to go within in order to transform. You have to go take your light, go within to your heart space, transform any fears and your shadows by bringing your awareness, by bringing your love, your attention, your focus. You know, why do I feel this way? And questioning yourself, you know, getting to know yourself is the path of self-discovery. You know, and then freeing yourself from those mental constructs, you know, those belief systems that you have about yourself and how you should be living, and empower yourself. Give yourself that confidence, that motivation to transform your life so that you can attract and have those healthy relationships that you deserve. Pile number 3. People who love you, who appreciate you, who want to see you doing good, want to see you happy, want to see you living your life. You know, some of these people, they may be just jealous of your light, jealous of your beauty, jealous of how big your heart is, you know, your potential, all those things, and they may know that you have this potential to be successful, and that fear is that, oh, they're going to be left behind. If they know how good they are, if they know their worth and their value, they're not going to need me anymore, you know. And that's the thing, that's their own fears, and they got to address their fears. So, yeah. That was one final message for you guys. All right, so I'm going to give y'all some, these are heart thoughts to end your reading. So we have, I am on an ever-changing journey. My life is never stuck or static or stale. for each moment is new and fresh. Every ending is a new point of beginning. Ooh, nice. Yep, you are never stuck. You can always make a different choice. You can always change. You can always change your life, change your beliefs. And in changing your beliefs, you change your life. You change your reality. Because our beliefs are what create our reality. I'm telling you, man, get in there and start doing some shadow work. There's all kinds of journals. There's lots of tools. There's lots of people who can help you with shadow work. Me and my mother, we also offer our services as well. You can find us on YouTube, Oasis Sacred Spaces. There's a lot of information. You can find me on Facebook as well. You can email me at Oasis Healing Temple. We have I Flow with Life. Divine order is ever present in my life, and there is plenty of time for all that I choose to do. There you go. Don't feel like you're behind, or you're too old, or there's not enough time to change. There's always plenty of time to change. Some people can go almost their whole life, and in their 60s and their 70s, and realize like, whoa, my goodness, I've been believing this way about life or about myself for so long, and I had no idea all I needed to do this and have that end of the life, you know what I mean? And that's not even the end of life. Some people can live till like they're 90 years old, but just have this complete aha epiphany, change of direction, and live the end of their life out, and happy and full of joy, and doing things that they love, and inspiring others in the process. We have my home is a peaceful haven. My home is a reflection of myself. As I clean out the closets of my mind, I also make my home a wonderful place to live in. All right, so that can also be something that's very beneficial, because sometimes, our home is a reflection of our mind, of the state of our mind. So get rid of any clutter that you have. Get some sage, cleanse out your space, cleanse your aura. The more that you declutter your mind, let go of any old thoughts. If you have something that you just keep thinking about over and over again, that there's a fear there, and that's also an entry point, a key to go within and understand what it is that needs healing. The fear is the tool. The fear is the key for you to open the door to access, a new beginning for yourself. That's where the healing is in the fear, all right? And you have the ability to transform, because we have alchemy. That's taking one substance and transforming it into another substance that's of a higher vibration. So you have the ability to change anytime. You just have to choose to do so. Pile number 3, it's your choice to create the reality that you want to be living in, and have the experiences that you want to experience by your belief systems, okay? All right, pile number 3, that was your reading today. I hope this helps you with your relationships in some way. I'm sending y'all so much love. Thanks for joining me in the temple today. Like and subscribe if this reading resonated with you. Comment below if you feel like sharing your story. I'd love to have you back for future readings. Y'all take care and have a blessed day.